An unexpected friendship. In the farthest reaches of the galaxy, a lone human explorer named Zura landed on a desolate, rocky planet. As she stepped out of her spacecraft, she marveled at the alien landscape stretching before her. Towering spires of obsidian rock pierced the purple sky, and strange, luminescent plants carpeted the ground. Suddenly, Zura noticed a trail of slime leading off into the distance. Curious, she followed the trail until she came upon a small, snail-like creature, unlike anything she had ever seen. Its iridescent shell shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow, and two eye stalks peered up at her from its squishy, gelatinous body. Zara crouched down to get a closer look, and to her surprise, the creature spoke. "Greetings, human," it said in a high-pitched, melodic voice. "I am Xyloth, of the Gastropodian race. Welcome to our world." Zara was stunned. She had encountered many alien species in her travels, but never one so small and unassuming. Hello," she stammered. "I'm Zara. It's nice to meet you, Xyloth." Over the next few weeks, Zara and Xyloth spent countless hours together, learning about each other's worlds and cultures. Despite the vast differences between them, they formed an unbreakable bond of friendship. One day, as they sat watching the alien sunset, Xyloth turned to Zara with a grave expression. "There is something I must tell you," it said softly. "Our scientists have detected an impending cosmic catastrophe, a cataclysm that will end the universe as we know it. We have only a short time left before everything is destroyed." Zara felt a chill run down her spine. The thought of the entire universe ending was almost too much to bear. But as she looked into Xyloth's eyes, she saw a glimmer of hope. "We have to do something," she said firmly. "We can't just sit back and let it happen. Together, you and I will find a way to survive." Xyloth's eye stalks quivered with emotion. "Thank you, Zara," it whispered. "With a friend like you by my side, I believe anything is possible." As the twin suns sank below the horizon, Zara and Xyloth began to plan for the end of all things. They knew the road ahead would be perilous, but they were determined to face it together. A human and a snail, united against the apocalypse, preparing for the end. In the days that followed, Zara and Xyloth threw themselves into preparations for the coming apocalypse. They pored over ancient Gastropodian texts, seeking any scrap of knowledge that might aid in their survival. Xyloth led Zara deep underground, into a vast network of caves that the Gastropodians had used as a refuge in times of crisis. Together, they began to reinforce the caves, shoring up walls and installing life support systems. Zara used her scientific expertise to help Xyloth design a stasis chamber that could keep them alive indefinitely. The chamber would protect them from the ravages of time and the destruction of the universe itself. As they worked, Zara couldn't help but marvel at Xyloth's intelligence and resourcefulness. For such a small creature, it possessed an incredible depth of knowledge and a keen problem-solving mind. One day, as they were scavenging for supplies in the ruins of an ancient Gastropodian city, disaster struck. A massive tremor shook the ground, causing buildings to collapse all around them. Zara was hit by a falling chunk of masonry and knocked unconscious. When she came to, she found herself buried under a pile of rubble, her legs pinned by heavy debris. She cried out for help, but her voice was swallowed by the roar of shifting rock and metal. Just as despair began to set in, she heard Xyloth's voice calling her name. The little snail had managed to navigate the treacherous ruins and locate Zara amidst the chaos. With strength belying its size, Xyloth slowly but surely shifted the rubble aside until Zara was free. As Zara limped out of the wreckage, leaning heavily on Xyloth for support, she realized just how much the snail meant to her. In that moment, their bond was forged anew, an unbreakable connection between two unlikely friends. They returned to their sanctuary, battered but unbroken. As they tended to each other's wounds, Zara looked into Xyloth's eyes and saw the same determination burning there that she felt in her own heart. "We're going to make it through this," she said softly. No matter what happens, we'll face it together. Xyloth muzzled Zara's hand with its eye stalks. Always, it replied. And with that simple word, a pact was sealed, a promise to stand together, even unto the end of all things. The universe goes dark. Zara and Xyloth stood at the entrance to their sanctuary, watching as the stars began to blink out one by one. It was a sight of terrifying beauty, as if the universe itself was slowly exhaling its last breath. The darkness spread like an ink blot across the sky, swallowing galaxies whole. Distant supernovas flared briefly, the dying gasps of once mighty suns. And then, in an instant, they too were gone. Zara felt a profound sense of loss as she watched the light fade from the cosmos. She had always found solace in the stars, marveling at their ancient, eternal beauty. To see them extinguished was like losing a part of herself. Beside her, Xyloth trembled, its eye stalks twitching nervously. "It's happening," it whispered. "The end of all things." As if in response, the ground beneath their feet began to shake. Fissures opened up in the rocky surface, spewing forth jets of molten rock and noxious gas. The very fabric of reality seemed to be coming apart at the seams. Zara and Xyloth flowed back into their sanctuary, sealing the entrance behind them. Inside, the stasis chamber hummed with power, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. As they climbed inside, Zara felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. She knew that she and Xyloth had done everything they could to prepare for this moment. Whatever happened next was out of their hands. The chamber sealed shut with a hiss, and Zara felt herself slipping into a dreamless sleep. Her last thought before unconsciousness claimed her was of Xyloth, curled up beside her like a tiny iridescent pillow. Outside, the universe continued to unravel. Stars collapsed in on themselves, forming black holes that swallowed everything in their path. The laws of physics, once immutable, began to break down and reshape themselves in impossible ways. And still, Zara and Xyloth slept on, safe in their sanctuary, waiting for the end to come. They had each other, and that was enough. Even as reality itself crumbled around them, their friendship endured. A tiny spark of light in an ocean of darkness. The last ones left. Eons passed, or perhaps only moments. Time had no meaning in the dark, silent void that was all that remained of the universe. Inside their sanctuary, Zara and Xyloth slept on, untouched by the passage of ages. And then, with a sudden jolt, the stasis chamber opened. Zara and Xyloth emerged, blinking in the faint ethereal light that suffused their surroundings. They were alone, the last living things in a dead cosmos. Zara looked around, her heart heavy with grief. Everything she had ever known, every star and planet and galaxy, was gone. The universe had been reduced to a cold, empty wasteland. Beside her, Xyloth nuzzled her hand with its eye stalks. "We did it," it said softly. "We survived." Zara nodded, tears streaming down her face. "But at what cost?" she whispered. "What is the point of survival when everything else has been destroyed?" Xyloth was silent for a long moment. Then, in a voice filled with quiet conviction, it spoke. "The point is that we remember," it said. "We carry the memory of all that was lost, and in doing so, we give it meaning." Zara looked down at her small, slimy friend and felt a surge of love and gratitude. Xyloth was right. As long as they remembered, the universe would never truly die. Together, they set out to explore the void, searching for any sign of life or warmth. But there was nothing, only an endless expanse of nothingness. And then, just as despair threatened to overwhelm them, they saw it, a flicker of light in the distance, like a candle flame in a vast, dark room. It was small and faint, but it was undeniably real. Zara and Xyloth exchanged a glance, hardly daring to hope. Could it be possible? Could there still be something left, some tiny spark of existence amidst the emptiness? With renewed determination, they set out towards the light, their steps quickening as they drew closer. And as they approached, they saw that it was not just a light. It was a gateway, a shimmering portal to somewhere else. They stepped through, hand in hand, ready to face whatever lay beyond. For a brief moment, the universe hung in the balance, poised between oblivion and rebirth. And then, with a blinding flash of light, everything changed. Rekindling the spark, Zara and Xyloth found themselves standing in a vast, swirling expanse of color and light. It was like being inside a kaleidoscope, or a nebula, or a dream. Everywhere they looked, new stars were being born, coalescing out of the cosmic dust and gas. It was a new universe, young and vibrant, and full of potential. And at its center, pulsing like a beating heart, was the anomaly they had seen from afar, a churning vortex of pure energy. As they watched, the vortex began to expand, tendrils of light reaching out to envelop them. Zara and Xyloth felt a strange sensation, as if they were being pulled towards the center of the maelstrom. And then, in a moment of blinding clarity, they understood. The anomaly was not just creating a new universe, it was choosing them to be its creators. They had been singled out, chosen for their bond, for their love and friendship and resilience in the face of annihilation. Zara looked at Xyloth, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Do you feel it?" she whispered. "The connection between us and this place." Xyloth nodded, its eye stalks quivering with emotion. "We are the key," it said softly. "The ones who will seed this new cosmos with life and hope." Hand in hand, they stepped forward into the vortex, feeling its energy surging through them. It was like being reborn, like shedding their old selves and becoming something new and infinite. As they merged with the anomaly, Zara and Xyloth felt their consciousness expanding, until they were one with the fabric of the new universe itself. They could feel the potential of countless worlds and species waiting to be born. With a thought, they began to shake the cosmos, guiding the formation of galaxies and stars and planets. They seeded worlds with life, carefully nurturing each delicate spark until it grew into a thriving ecosystem. And through it all, their bond endured, a shining beacon of hope and love amidst the vastness of creation. They were the heart and soul of this new reality, the guardians and caretakers of all that would come to be. As eons passed and civilizations rose and fell, Zara and Xyloth remained, watching over their cosmic garden with boundless love and patience. They knew that as long as they had each other, anything was possible, even the rebirth of a universe from the ashes of the old. And so, hand in hand, a human and a snail ventured forth into eternity, ready to face whatever wonders and challenges the future might hold. Together, they would be the light in the darkness, the hope in the void, a testament to the enduring power of friendship and love. The end.